Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Always Tell Me the Odds, a Star Wars Unlimited podcast. I am Marcus, as usual, and I'm here with my co-host, Magnus. Hey, Magnus.
Hey.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine.
Doing fine.
Very fine, I would say, because we both talked about this. We're both going on vacation or taking some time off from work now.
Yes.
For the summer.
Yes.
Both of us.
Yes.
So this is a nice to be done with the work for today.
It's very nice.
It's not a Monday as we usually record.
Yeah.
It's a Thursday today.
Thursday, yeah. So most of you recognize that there was no, there was a little bit of a delay on the episode because of life.
Yeah.
But it was nice to end work today, and then I went straight to my computer here to talk to you. So it's nice to end work, talk with you here, and then vacation time. So it's good.
Yeah, really nice. Yeah. Really nice.
So we are going to talk a little bit about Star Wars today, as we usually do in this podcast. But what have you done the last week, SWU related?
Yeah, so first of all, we did, as you guys probably know, we did go to a store showdown, both of us, on this Sunday.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess we can start by talking a bit about that, how we did, and how it went.
Yeah.
So we got a little road trip, four of us, and one other guy, a fifth guy from our meta down in south of Sweden. He went up with his wife. So we met up actually in Gothenburg, a bit like in it's a bit north from us because we're very much south.
What is it, 2.5 hours drive or so?
Yeah, it took about that. Yes, yeah.
But that was a nice road trip.
Yeah, just fun actually to talk a bit about Star Wars and just hang out the whole day.
It was really nice. I was on concert the day before in the evening, so I came home super late and I had to go up super early, and then I picked up one guy on the way, and then we met up and jumped into a car together, and then 2.5 hours of just talking Star Wars Unlimited and have a good time. We stopped and had a nice Swedish fika with some coffee and cinnamon rolls, and so it was really nice.
Yeah, super nice day.
Yeah.
So we came up to the store that was in Gothenburg. And do you remember the name of the store?
It's no.
No, that doesn't matter that much. Yeah. Well, if we'll see if we can get it. Okay, so we were a total of 14 players, I think. So kind of a large amount of us came from our small meta in the south. Yeah. So we were 5 people and they were 9. So we mixed up there.
It was good.
Played.
Mystery Shack. Mystery Shack
in Gothenburg.
Yeah. Really nice store.
Nice store. Yeah. And I think they only sold like card games.
They only had TCGs,
TCGs, and it wasn't the biggest store, but it had a nice area where we could sit and play.
I mean, the area where we played was bigger than the store itself, so it was nice.
Probably.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, went super well with the organization around and everything. Yeah.
And so what did you bring? You brought your favorite.
Yeah, I brought my favorite Emperor Palpatine. I did say that if I didn't find anything else, I would bring that deck. So Palp with a yellow base.
Yeah, true. And I went with
one of my absolute favorite decks to play in the game so far.
Like that. Yeah, and I went with Ray Data Vault. I had really practiced a little bit more this time, so I felt a little bit more confident going to the store showdown with that one. So that was nice. Yeah,
that was so good that you kept to your deck.
Yeah, so easy to just switch the day before or so, but I kept to that. So that's good. And we played 4 rounds of Swiss, and then it was a top 4 cut, right? If I remember it right.
Yeah. Yep. That's correct.
Yeah, and I had such it was a little bit. I was a downer because out of those 4, the first match I met a local guy from Gothenburg, and I reached my goal because I wanted to win at least one game, and I won that one. Even if I forgot Ray's ability 3 times when she attacked, I forgot to put the experience on other troops. So but I managed to win anyway. And then the other 3 matches in the Swiss, I actually had our local people as opponents.
Yeah.
So I fought all the people in the car up except for you and the guy who came there with his wife.
Yeah. So that's a bit unfortunate.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But it was fun.
Just gonna say that as well. Like the first game you played there, I finished my game a lot sooner. So I did like stand around and watch your game quite a lot. And it's so hard to just stand beside the game and see when you like miss those those triggers every time, and you can't say anything or do anything. It's like, oh, now he missed it again.
And when and when the other player like scooped, you and another guy who sat there and was like, oh my god, I could almost not hold me not saying anything because I missed it so many times.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I mean, I guess store showdowns are quite casual. So maybe we could have like between actions told you or something. But you won the game either way. So sure. I'm always hesitant to do that because you don't want to affect the game at all.
I don't think you should do that.
Even if it's casual, you shouldn't do anything.
It's also a way for me to learn. So like, because I will not forget that again, because since you told me after the game, I was like, oh my god, how? At least I won.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys would have done something that wasn't according to the rules, then we probably would have told you guys, because there weren't like, I mean, an assigned judge.
True.
It's like Gustav, who runs a lot of the events up in Gothenburg. He was like kind of, if someone needs a judge call, you can ask me, or we can like ask someone else. We're a few players who can help out with the judge calls. So I don't think there were many judge calls though.
No, we had some questions that we asked just like when others were playing or so that's fine. But I had a goal that to win one game, and I did. I won my first game, and then I lost 3 because I met 2 Boba Data Vault, and they are super hard against. I have a hard time against them, and I ended up in the 11th place, not last, which was good. So I managed to reach my goal. And how did you do? You did pretty well.
I did well. Yes, I was happy to see when we started to play that there were no Sabine players around at all. So I have a record of always facing the Sabine player otherwise with my decks, especially when I don't want to. I always face the Sabine player. It's like we did tell you guys about the Malmö tournament where there were 1 Sabine out of 30 plus players, and of course I got to play against that player.
And so for you who listen to the podcast, I've done that for a little while.
No Sabines, that's nice.
You know how much Magnus do not like Sabine.
I mean, I guess it's, of course, because of the decks I play. I usually play like more control-y decks, and
for sure
they usually have a bit of a problem with Sabine. Yeah, and some of them, but not all. But But this time felt like meta was quite diverse. Meta, I think the most we were 14 players. The most played leader was Darth Vader, the new one, the pilot Vader.
Yeah.
There were 2 yellow and 1 blue Vader decks, 2 Boba with data vaults, and maybe, I don't know if there were any other like duplicates, but quite diverse.
It was quite diverse.
That's fun. And like almost all only like mid-range decks. I would say that the Boba data vault deck can be quite aggro though.
It can.
But it's not Sabine aggro. It's
of course
definitely more mid-range slash aggro maybe.
But it gives a lot of damage very fast. At least against me. I mean,
against me as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So it did quite well. I did win my first 3 games.
Yeah.
So I faced. I started off against an Anakin blue deck. I won that 2-1. Then I faced a Thrawn with Data Vault. I got a 2-0 win there, and then I faced Bosk with Data Vault, and I also won that with 2-0.
Yeah, that's nice.
So, yeah, and in the 4th round, so it was just me and another friend that came up with us, Emil, from our meta. We were the only 3-0 players, so we were supposed to face, of course. But as we said, why not just take a draw to be guaranteed the top 4?
Yeah.
And we said, like, joked about let's take it to the final instead.
Yeah.
The game. So because it ended up like I was top of Swiss and he was second, so we didn't face the first game in top 4.
Yeah.
Then I got to face the boss player again in top 4, and he got to face one of his opponents again in the top 4, and I did win that game 2-0 once more, because it's a really hard game for Bosk to take up against Palp. I'd say especially against the Palp yellow deck. I mean he really wants to ramp and then put out big things on the board.
Yeah.
And I like to steal his big things, both with
you just like to wait and be steal it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have Palp and I have the Change of Hearts, and it's not impossible, but it's
a hard matchup. Yeah, for sure.
Matchup. Yeah. And Emil did win his game as well, so we did end up playing in the finals.
Yay!
He played Boba
Data Vault.
Yeah. And unfortunately for me, I lost that final with 2-0.
Yeah.
Two quick games. I didn't really have much to put up against his deck this time. I know it's possible for me to win, but I think I'm a bit of the underdog, and I need to really like draw the cards I need to draw.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
I need for him to not draw some certain cards. To win. So, and he played it. He knows my deck, and he knows.
For sure.
What
and
to
he's
do
also
against
a really,
deck,
really good player. I mean, you are too, but he's
of course. He is definitely a better player than me.
Yeah,
I'd say that.
I faced him. So in my first game, I had the Han 3, the Pilot Han. Actually, that was a very interesting deck. And then I met Emil with his Boba Data Vault, and he just crushed me with 2-0. And then I actually had a Vader yellow, also a local like Gustav, and he won 2-0. And then I had a third local from us, and it was also Boba Data Vault, but I lost that with 2-1 actually. It was all the Data Vault or the Boba.
A lot of Data Vault decks as usual in the tournament.
But that was a nice tournament, and there were a nice showdown, and then we had a nice trip back down again.
It was fun
and
to
had some burger on the way home and so on. So it was nice. So it was a long day though.
It was very nice.
Actually, for sure.
Super nice. And so congrats to Emil who took it down with Boba Data Vault.
Good thing we could go up there and win.
He did not. I don't think he lost a single match.
No,
in the tournaments.
He didn't.
No, so,
undefeated.
Or I mean, he didn't lose the game with did an intentional draw, but he didn't win it either. So,
but played games, he had no losses at least.
That's true.
But so he deserved a win for sure. But it was good that we could go up there and take home the Gothenburg showdown for sure.
Yeah, that was a nice one.
Yeah,
I did like.
And then we also played some.
Nice.
Was it yesterday? We met up and played some Twin Suns in our local group.
The day before yesterday.
The day before yesterday.
Yeah.
We shouldn't go too deep into that because we are
already
talk too much. But
depends on when you listen to this as well. But,
but it's
we
had a good time there.
Some Twin Suns.
Yeah. But we realized something yesterday that we have talked a little bit about before, but we really we could see yesterday. And because the first game we played were 5 players, and we put up 40 HP on the bases, but it's 5 players. It takes so long. And also, it gets very unbalanced because when you play out the unit or something, you have 4 players that can take it away before it's your turn again. So 5 players, it feels like it doesn't work very well, at least when we play.
It feels like it's too many players.
It's too many players, for sure.
4 players, really. We played quite a lot of Twin Suns now, and I do want to say that 4 players really is the sweet spot.
It is, for sure.
You should really try to be 4 players when you play.
Because we have also played 3 players.
Yeah,
and it's very obvious that it's so easy for 2 players to just go together and take out one person, even if it's not intentional. It is very easily turn out that way, and it feels it doesn't feel balanced in some way. It feels a little bit weird and skewed. So 4 players is that is the sweet spot for sure.
Yeah, and we've tried out this like adding health to bases as well.
Yeah,
quite a bit. We started by adding 10s a few times, and I think we've ended up now in like you add 5 HP per player beyond 3. Yeah. So if you're 4 players, you get plus 5 HP. If you're 5 players, you get plus 10 HP.
Yeah, exactly.
So on the base, and that's been working out really well. You get that like 1 extra turn, so that everyone gets to flip their leaders and play with them as well.
Because when we played 4 players and we only had, if all of us had 30 HP bases and we just played like that, it often the game ended before we could flip out the bigger leaders or the bigger units came out. So it was only like early game or early mid game that we played all the time, so we didn't go into the game very much.
Yeah.
So but when we added 5 HP, that turned around quite a bit, and it got a lot more interesting, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I think most of us agree on that on the local group, because we always play with plus 5 now when we're 4 players.
Yeah.
So I think that is
if you listened, Fancy Flight, that is something you could add to the.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we're not the only ones who've tried these kind of things out. So,
but I would like.
I really think that you should add 5 HP.
Yeah,
really.
I think so too.
If you haven't tried it, you should try it with Twin Suns.
But I would also like to know what you listeners are. Have you tried anything like to manipulate the HP when you play Twin Suns, and how does that work out for you? And have you found any other pattern or so? That would be very interesting to listen to. So you can comment on YouTube or give us a shout in Discord or so. That would be very interesting to listen to, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. So maybe we should go on and leave this. It's a long talk about what we have done last week. Next is we have this segment now called Frontline News, and there's not a lot of news coming out there right now because we're taking a little bit of a break, and the reason for that is because there's just been a season of a lot of exams in Sweden, so a lot of schools, the students going out and so on. So a lot of us have been on those exam parties, and some of us are actually students, so they are full in on studying for the final exams and stuff like that. And also a lot of people in Sweden now are starting their vacations, and the last couple of weeks before vacation is always super crammed at work. So all of us felt a little bit like maybe we should take a week or 2 break from this so we can catch up later on. So there's actually no news more than that we're taking a break, but there will be more during the autumn, and we are talking and developing stuff and so on, and will write more lore during the summer and so on. So we will pick it up because it feels like people are still psyched about it. So that feels good.
We'll just have a small summer break, and then we'll keep going with the campaign.
Exactly. All right.
So on to today's topic.
Yes.
The topic
it took 20
today
minutes
is,
for us to get there.
It's we're going to talk about Trilogy.
Yes.
So from when we record, yesterday, Fantasy Flight on Wednesday, they had a stream. where they talked a lot about what you can get, all the nice stuff you can get at Galactics.
Yep.
So if you're going there, you should check that stream out. There is a lot of really nice cards you can get to pick up on Galactics. I would have loved to go to Galactics, but maybe another year. We'll see. But they also did actually give us a new format to play.
Yes.
Called Trilogy.
Yeah.
So that's what we're gonna talk a bit about today, actually.
And it's interesting because I don't know very much about it because I didn't see the stream. But when you wrote about it in Discord and we started to talk about it, I actually thought you were kidding first. I'm like, what? That's weird. But it's such a cool concept. So yeah. So what is Trilogy? Tell us.
Yeah. First of all, what they said was that they introduced it on this stream because of the first time you're gonna be able to try to play it outside of course, you can play it at home or with your friends.
Yeah.
But at an event, we'll be at Galactics. There will be side events, if I got that right, that you'll be able to play this format.
Yep.
And it's not like the new tournament format or anything like that. They're trying out a lot of different things at the office, they said, and they really like this format, so they want all the players to be able to try it out and see if it's something they want to play a lot in the future as well. So we don't really know what's going to happen more with this format. I guess that depends on how popular the format is going to be.
Yeah, for sure.
And
I love that I love that they're trying out new stuff because it's a very good way to develop the game and try new stuff. And they try it on us as a community, see how we take that and what we do with it. And if it doesn't work, you can just let it go and try something new. And I really like that they are positive to development because it doesn't, the game don't get stale so easily, I think.
Yeah, I think that's really good that they're open to trying new things and not being like, no, the Premiere is the only format you're supposed to play. And I think that this is really, really positive for the game.
I think so.
You and me, we did talk a little bit about before recording here that like a few more formats and like testing new formats is good, but it shouldn't be too much either, because we don't want like to have 100 different formats in the game. And what's the like downside with that? It's just that you play the format you want to play. But I guess it's not too good if you really separate, like you get the community divided between a lot of formats. Like we already have Limited, we have Premiere, and we have Twin Suns. So that's like 3 different ways to play the game, and we can notice sometimes at like our community at locals, when if we're only like 6 or 8 players, one of the meetups, maybe 2 or 3 would have liked to draft, but like then 2 or 3 wanted to play Twin Suns, and the rest wanted to play Premiere. Then really no one gets to play what they want to play.
I mean, there's a lot of positive thing about it because it's something new coming in and exciting, and you get to try new stuff and so on. So it's very good and developing for the game. But also, there is a risk if you keep too many of the formats, you might dilute the community and divide it, as you say. So that is a big risk with it. So I think you should be very conscious which formats you keep or not. But I think it's good that they try them out at least. But I think that
that's
what
really
stays
good.
needs to be really, you need to be really conscious what you keep, for sure.
And I'm not expecting them to like give us new formats every month.
No, of course not.
I think it's going to be quite rare. And I really like that they're trying out and doing this. So
especially now in season 0, for sure.
It's a perfect place to try it out.
I think
Worlds,
so too.
Or like Galactus.
Oh yeah,
that is going to be the from what they kind of said on the stream, Galactic is going to be the biggest tournament yet. I thought they said that it's going to be around 2,400 players in actually 2,400 in the main tournament.
That's crazy.
So that's amazing. That's amazing.
I would really
too bad
like
we're
go
not
there.
Yeah, too bad we're not going. But
Yeah.
maybe next year. Who knows? We'll see where
We need
it
to
is
get
and
better, though.
when it is. Yeah, I mean, I'm not just to be able to experience like the whole
just
thing.
go there.
Play side
events and
events.
so on. Yeah, you can always do
Yeah,
that.
I think that's amazing
Yeah,
either
that's
way.
true.
I don't think you need to compete at these big,
But
big
hey,
gatherings.
let's try to qualify. Maybe we should have that as a
Yeah,
goal.
why not? Why not?
So we send that out to
yeah.
our listeners. Like, can you help us to qualify next year?
Yeah,
like
tell us what to do.
Coach us.
Coach us.
At least me, who are
not?
so new to this.
Yeah, that would be a good goal for next year to try to
all right. So what is Trilogy? What is the format? How does it work?
Okay. So Trilogy is a format where each player actually builds 3 decks each. So you have 3 50-card decks, where at least minimum 50-card decks.
Yeah.
So how you build the decks is actually quite the same as you do in Premiere.
Mm-hmm.
You use the Premiere build the restrictions from Premiere. So you have 3 of each card, minimum 50 cards. Like 1 leader, 1 base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you build a Premiere deck.
You build 3 Premiere decks, you
Premier
could say.
decks.
Yeah. But you don't have a sideboard to any of them. So no sideboards. And the big thing is that the Trilogy format restricts you to a maximum of 3 copies of any given card across all 3 decks. So if you play like the Luke unit in one of the decks, you have 3 copies there. You can't have him in any of the other decks.
Yeah, but you could have 1 Luke in each deck.
You can have 1 in each deck. That actually came up on the stream as well. You could actually build. You could do a singleton deck, like that's like when you have 1 of each, and you can just take 3 different leaders and different bases, and so you have like 3 of the exact same deck but with different leaders.
Right.
That's possible, but then you have to just do one-offs in the deck.
It's a little bit like where the frontline the front lines thought that you restrict the decks to not get them too good. But this time they restrict all the cards, so you can only have 3 copies over the 3 decks. That's interesting.
Yeah. And the thought of this behind this is that like so that you don't do like almost 3 exactly same decks.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, identical decks. They want you to have to like make 3 different decks.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be in the same. You don't have to have 3 heroism or 3 villainy, because you can have 2 heroism and 1 villainy or whatever.
Yeah, that is cool. And they also said that they didn't want people who have like a play set. That means that they have like 3 of each card in the game.
Yeah.
They didn't want them to have to get like the 4th to 6th copy of each card. Because if you have a play set in of the game, you could actually play any deck in this format as well, because you have to build them with only 3 of each copy.
I think that's very nice of them to make because
that's quite nice.
The card is I've heard this before, that they wanted the game to be accessible so it doesn't get too expensive to play, and this is in line with that they don't want people to force people to buy a lot of cards, but if you have play sets, you could play this format or whatever format. And I think that's very good that they keep that line and they make the game available for more people. I don't say it's cheap, because it's not, but it's what I understand is cheaper than other TCGs for sure.
Than a lot of TCGs. So a very important thing about this is, of course, you can only have 1 of each leader. So you have to have different leaders to each, and you can't like the bases, you have to have different as well. It doesn't matter that much with like the 30 bases, because there are a lot of 30 health, but you can only have like 1 energy conversion lab. One of the decks can have that. You can't have that in 2 decks.
But you can have 2 yellow bases, but they are different names.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, you can have 3 yellow bases.
But with different names. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So, it's sounds like a really fun way to play.
But
And then when you play the games, you play best of 3, and so you start with what they're calling the ban phase. So before any game take place, both players show which leaders and bases they have in their decks, and then you both choose one secretly choose. So your opponent doesn't know which one you choose. So you choose one deck from your opponent that you bans. So that means that he or she is not able to play that deck during your game.
So Django
You
Tarkin
both
Town.
secretly, if that shows up, you probably choose that deck maybe. So that's fun. And then you both end up with 2 decks each. You put away the third deck that you banned. Then you choose one of the deck secretly again, both at the same time. You choose one deck, and then you play your first game with those decks. So the player who wins.
Oh, so you first ban one. The opponent banned one of your decks, and then you choose one of the 2 decks you have left.
Yeah, and you both choose one of the decks you have left secretly, so you don't know which one your opponent chooses.
Okay.
And then the player who wins the first game has to change deck.
Oh,
so if you win with the deck, you can't play that deck again.
That's interesting.
So if say you win the first game, then you only have one deck left to play.
Oh yeah.
So your opponent could choose to play the same deck again because he didn't win with that deck or change.
Yeah.
So if you win the second game, then you've won the match.
Yeah.
But if you lose that game, you still have to keep playing that deck you haven't won with.
Can you change if you want to?
No, you can only win with a deck once. So if you have won with it,
if I lose with a deck, can I still change my deck, or do I need to play the deck that I lost with?
Yeah, as you could. I mean, it works out like if you win the first game, then you can't change your deck anymore.
Yeah.
Because if you win one more game, then you've won the match.
Then you won the match. But I was just thinking, if you and me playing and you win, then you have to change your deck. And do I have to play the deck?
Yeah, you can. No,
I can change.
No, you can change. You can change as well.
All right.
But the same rule applies to you. So if you win the next game,
then I need to play.
Then you can't play that deck again. You have to choose the third, like the second.
one. Yeah, the one I played in the first match. Then.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
A really interesting way.
That's add another whole new dimension to the game.
Yeah, very tactical. Which deck to bring and how to build them and
then what to ban and what to choose to against your opponent. That's interesting. That's really cool. I like this.
Yeah, it's really, it's really intriguing to try to find out how to play this well. Like
the only thing that my first reaction when I heard about this was like, how am I supposed to build 3 decks? Because I struggle to build like 1 or 2 right now, but because I don't have enough cards. But I guess it's just like most of it's bulk cards, so I don't think it should be a problem if you're like, maybe now when people are coming in as new players, there's not like a ton of cards, but they're getting more and more.
Mean,
and most of us who are playing and buying a lot of cards, we can give away a lot of bulk cards, and for sure. So I don't think it would be too hard.
I would say that if you're gonna compete in this format, it's not a good format for like beginners.
No.
Because not only do you need 3 decks, you need to be able to play those 3 decks as well.
Yeah, so it's not good for me.
So I would say that this is primarily a format that will suit for like very experienced and like probably the more competitive players as well, because they put the time in and really like.
Because you really need to know the other,
and
you need to really need to know your opponent's decks, what they do and what they're good at, and what's good against them, and so on. That's interesting. But I loved it. I love it. I really want to try this. It's such a cool concept. That's really cool. for sure.
Yeah, I really like the concept. It's super fun. And as we said, it's really nice that they're trying out new formats. We really have to take a day at locals or something to try this format out.
Yeah.
It feels like it's
absolutely
it's a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like it. And also most of us, as we in our local group, because sometimes we get new players coming in, like on Tuesday there were a new person coming in who were completely new to the game, and most of us have more than one deck built. So we have, like, some of us have 3-4 decks built, and some of us have 2, and so on. So we borrow from each other and try out different decks and so on. And like, since we have that, it's also like, even if a person coming in would only have one deck, they can borrow 2 decks from other people, and we can still set this up in some way.
Yeah.
So it's
and I mean,
it's a good community thing.
In a casual setting, like at your locals or something like that, this could well be a good way for new players to get into the game.
For sure.
I mean, of course, you not the first time you play, but if you're a new player that has played the game and you know the game, because you get to try a lot of different decks.
Yeah,
that's a fun part of the game as well.
Yeah,
you get to play against different decks as well,
exactly.
because your opponent has more decks as well.
Yeah, it gives a lot of variety when you train it and try out different decks, and so I think it's a real, as you said, I think it's very hard to come in as a newcomer and play this competitive, because you really need to know a lot of different decks. But as a casual thing, I think it could develop you as a new player, or as a player as a whole. Because you have to try. You can try different decks, and you also have to face a lot of different decks. So
and
really
it can help you help you find what type of decks you
that's true.
like to play in this game as well. If you're not really sure if it's like for you, your first TCG, or
for sure,
you have no idea what type of decks you would like to play. I
still don't have a clue.
No, I mean, this is it's a good way of trying out. You get, because in each game you probably get to try out a few decks.
Yeah, I will play.
Instead of just playing one.
So my 3 first decks will be Han 1, Han 2, and Han 3.
Yeah, that's a fun way to do it.
But I also think I saw somewhere in our Discord, in our local Discord for our local group, someone said that it could be very interesting when like new sets are coming out and so on. You can build like lore, that you can like see a progression in the lore or something. You can build. You can use the lore of Star Wars to do very thematic decks. That would be fun.
Yeah, and I mean, it's called Trilogy, so you could like try to make it to follow the 3 trilogies we have in the Star Wars universe. Sure. That's quite fun as well. So you can do a lot of fun things with this.
Yeah, for sure. And instantly someone wrote in the Galactic Frontline Discord and was like, "Oh, we could use this in the campaign." It was like, "What? Hold on, how?" But maybe that could be really cool.
Yeah, that could be cool. Actually, yeah.
I really need to give props to Fantasy Flight for trying new stuff up. I did not see this coming at all. I've seen people talk about this format Eternal, where you can play all cards, even the ones who are banned, or the ones who, or at least the ones who are rotated out when new sets come. But I did not see this one come. I haven't heard anything. I'm not super well versed in the in TCGs, but I've never heard of a concept like this.
I mean, it's actually not it's not unique. I have seen this in other games before.
All right.
It's actually a good way to have in games where you have really bad matchups for some decks.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you have like
that's true.
almost games like almost impossible to win.
Yeah.
Then it's not fun to come with just one deck and face one deck, because if you face the deck, it's impossible for you to win.
For sure.
But if you have like 3, or some games do like even more, then you can like take away the most dangerous deck for you, and similar for your opponent. You can. Yeah, so that's a good way to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think that. For that reason, I don't think it's needed in Star Wars Unlimited, because quite a balanced game.
Yeah.
It's not like
It is
of course
very-
you have bad matchups
Yeah.
in the game,
But you can still
but
win.
you can still win
Yeah.
at least.
For sure.
You have some chance to win
Yeah.
in this game at least. But it's a good way to try it out.
I think so. I think
Who knows?
really,
Maybe
yeah.
we'll see more of this in future. We'll see.
Maybe. But we will try it out for sure in our local group. I really want to do that.
Of course, yeah.
That's
I do
that's
as
real.
well.
I'm instantly starting when I'm sitting here now. It's like I will go on vacation in 2 days, but right now I'm like, oh, I need to look through my cards and see what decks would have like in this format.
Which deck could you build in this format?
This will be. I will go hike in the mountains in the Alps. But I will go walk around there now and think about what leaders I can do.
And I mean, you can be quite sneaky as well in this format. Like if there are no bans, you could like pick, say, Django or like the Boba 1 leader that everyone's super afraid of.
Yeah.
And then you don't put any good cards in those decks.
Yeah. Because they will ban them.
Yeah, you think like your opponent will ban that every time, so you put the legendaries and the good cards in the other two decks.
Yeah, the risk is if they see through that, and then it's like you can play your Django deck, and it's like shit, I don't have anything in there.
Yeah,
but still, still good leaders though. So
yeah, I mean that could happen. That's not that good. Yeah.
Well, it sounds really good.
Okay.
So you as a listener, how do you think? What do you think about this format? Do you think it's a good thing? And how do you think about this, like FFGs trying out new stuff and new formats and so on? So what are your thoughts about the trilogy? Let us know.
Yeah,
right.
That would be always fun to know what you guys think.
For sure. Should we wrap this up?
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So before we leave you guys, on this podcast, we always want to know the odds. Always tell me the odds. So today I have a question for you, Marcus.
I'm ready.
You're ready? Good. Okay. So the question is, what are the odds of you being a serial killer's victim?
Oh no.
Yes,
that's so bad.
That's very bad. Yes.
Ooh, do I want to know this?
Based on living in America in the
US. Okay.
Yeah, US. Yes.
All right. Oh.
It's a 1 in
all right.
something chance of being murdered by a serial killer.
Kill. I mean,
not just being murdered.
No, but by a serial killer.
Yeah.
Oh, do I want to know this? But I mean, there is not too many serial killers. Not too many. There are a few in documentaries though. But let's say it's 1 in 100,000.
It's actually even more rare than that.
Oh, thank you. That's good.
Yeah, it should. So it's actually 1 in 645,000.
645,000. It's still too much though. It's still too high of a risk.
So according to this article I found, 2% of all U.S. murders are committed by serial killers.
Wow, that's kind of a lot though.
So it's 2% is quite,
that's too much.
It's not that many.
No,
but still, as you said, it's still a lot.
There's too many.
Yeah, it's too many.
Yeah,
any
murder
is too many, I guess. Yeah. So, okay, so that's
all right. Well, 1 in 645.
Scary thought.
Scary thought. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
So, as you know, we have a Discord where you can join, and we have the links in the description, and you can also find links to our YouTube where we upload all the episodes, and where you also can interact with us and write comments and so on. And we have an Instagram and Blue Sky. They are not super active right now, but we have them. And you can also find us in Discord in the Swedish one and in the international one, where you can find me as Falloin and you can find Magnus as Dragonfly. And also, there is summer coming up for us here, so there will be a little bit of changes in the episodes and so on. But we will try to keep the episodes coming once a week, but they might be a little bit shorter, but we will keep you. We will do shorter check-ins and so on. And then during the autumn, we will. Or not during the autumn, but late summer and so on. We will get back to the regular schedule on Wednesday afternoons and a longer formats on the episodes and so on. So, but thank you so much all for listening to this one, and we'll talk to you soon again. So bye bye.
Hej då.